Okay, we're going to start laying down on the mat. So we begin with some pelvic tilting that loosens up the low back. Arch as much as you can from your navel to your tailbone without lifting up in the chest. And then exhale using the abdominal muscles to pressure back into the mat. Exhaling. Inhale and arch. Suspend that position so you feel your low back muscles working. And then exhale and print. Always staying under a pain threshold. And one more time. Inhale and arch. And when you're ready to exhale, bring those abdominal muscles in together, drawing in from the lower abdominal area and the ribs down. And come back to what we call neutral pelvis, is your natural curve in your low back. You can place your fingers on the hip bones that poke out in the front. As you draw in the muscles from that hip bone towards the midline, called the internal obliques. And then release and inhale and exhale as you start the other side. But inhale as you release and exhale, pulling in towards the midline. So if you could imagine a quadrant, this lower quadrant is drawing in towards the midline. That's the internal obliques, it's stabilizer for the pelvis and low back. And if you don't feel it first, just be patient. Just concentrate on trying to get the muscle to activate, recruiting a little more stimulation. Let's do one more on each side. Good. And last one. So be careful that you're not just instigating the movement. You want to feel the muscles, and then the movement will happen. Come back to the center. The next exercise is a circle pattern. So imagine there's a circle on your mat. Arch your back to your tailbone and then come around the circle using just your abdominal muscles. Relax your legs. Inhale towards your tailbone. Exhale as we come around the circle. We'll do one more time. Finishing the circle, change directions 3 times counterclockwise. Concentrating on the muscles moving the bones. And around. One more time. As you finish the circle, your spine is in a straight line, hips are level, have a natural curve in your low back. Draw in the abdominal muscles and take the weight off of your feet by lifting your heels. Then just bring one knee to your chest, toes touch down, continue alternating. So this knee lifting exercise is to prevent any movement in your pelvis and low back. So you're bracing those abdominal muscles. And breathe. Inhale, knee up. And lowering down. Good strength and control. One more time on each side. Then sliding your leg down straight. Flex your foot. Maintain this core strength like you're reeling your leg back in. And extend. Flex your foot. Maintain the core strength and this frame from hip to hip. So as you extend your left leg, be careful that the right hip doesn't lift from the floor. And again on the right. Free engage those abdominal muscles before you move your leg. One more time, each leg. Inhale, exhale on the movement. Keep lifting your heels, opening your knees apart and together. If you could imagine that your abdominal muscles are squeezing together and your legs just float up to the ceiling. And apart. And together one more time. Then we're going to do the same movement, but with one knee at a time. This requires a little more work in your abdomen. Be careful not to tighten up in your hip flexors. As that left knee goes out to the side, be careful you don't let your hips rock with the leg. We'll continue for 2 more sets. Just concentrate, pulling your ribs together, tightening up your core, letting the leg move freely. Only open your knee to the side as far as you can control the position of your spine and hips. Then place your feet to the mat. You're going to heel toe walk your feet to the sides of the mat and let the knees drop to the center. This is an internal rotation in the hips now. And just take a couple of seconds to relax those muscles. Take a nice big breath. Increase the stretch on your left leg. Just let your right leg release slightly, reaching up with your left arm. Stretch up, increasing that length down the side of your body and down the side of the hip. Take a nice big breath. And then carefully bringing your arm to your side and switch legs. So the knee drops towards the floor. Reach up with your right arm. Don't really have to worry about form very much here, just a stretch. Good. Take a breath. And then exhale as you bring your arm down to your side and release the legs. Walk your feet back to neutral pelvis position. So your feet aren't all the way together, they're just under your sit bones. The next series is for your upper back posture and your neck. So press your shoulder blades into the mat, open across your clavicle bones. With one arm, reach up to the ceiling. Press your shoulder blade flat in the mat. Other side, inhale as you reach up. Exhale, press it flat. And again, inhale up. Fold that shoulder blade flat. Inhale and press. One more time each side. If there's any discomfort in your neck area, try rolling up a pillow and putting it underneath your neck for support. Press your shoulder blades in the mat. We want that foundation as the arms open to the sides. Press from your shoulder blades and your arms float up. Take a breath in. Exhale on our movement. You're still pressing those shoulder blades flat into the mat and up to the ceiling. And again, apart. Still exhaling, exhale, exhale, exhale. Then inhale. One more time. Be aware that you're staying nice and long, shoulder to shoulder, and not punching your chest together. Then you can lower your arm down to your leg. At this point, maintain the position of your upper back, shoulder blades into the mat. If your shoulder starts to roll up off of the floor, press it back down and strengthen at the shoulder sockets. So don't worry if you can't touch the floor. We're looking at the form of the upper back. Imagine if you were standing up, your ears would be right over your shoulders. Then we're going to reach overhead. This one requires a little bit more work in the abdomen. And as that arm lifts up overhead, don't let your shoulder elevate. Keep pressing your shoulder blade flat on the floor and pulling your abdominal muscles in strongly. Exhaling, we'll do one more on each side. Try to get between 3 and 5 of the repetitions in, nice and slow. Then try both arms overhead, requiring a little bit more abdominal strength. So what happens if your abs release? The chest is going to lift and you'll have an arch in your back. So come back down to that neutral pelvis position, maintaining the position of your spine. This time we're going to add in some half roll-ups. So the arms come forward, pelvic tilt into the mat, chin to the chest if you can, hold on to your head if you need to. Roll back down to the floor. So I'm going to support my neck just to demonstrate the modification. Press those shoulders down away from your ears. Here's 2. Exhale, rolling up 3. And lower. And 4. Be aware that you're not punching. And lower one more time. Okay, adding in some stretches now. Bring your right knee in, lift up towards your chest, and slide that left leg out on the floor. Flex and point your left foot. Try to keep lifting up on the right knee. And then we'll extend the right leg up to the ceiling. If that bothers your back at all, bend your left knee slightly. That tips the pelvis back, or you can extend your leg. Flex and point on your right foot now. So these pumping activities help increase circulation, increase lymphatic flow, and there's nerve glides, getting those nerves to gently move through the muscles and flossing. Okay, 5 circles with your ankle. Nice big circle around. Big range of motion. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Change directions for 5 more. 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 5. Try to keep your foot on the ceiling, but bend your knee. Bring it up high, just a gentle stretch. Then extend your leg, pushing your leg into your hands. Follow through all the way to your toes. Flex again, pull back on the stretch. Take a breath. Exhale as you extend. This is another nerve glide for the sciatic nerve. Press. One more time. When you bring your knee up, be careful that the other leg doesn't pop off the floor. Next is rotation. So the left foot's on the mat, your right knee is tucked in. Turn to your left side and then open your right arm out. Open that shoulder. Take a couple of breaths to relax into the position. Good. Now with your right hand, open and close your hand in a fist and then open it out. Try to have that shoulder on a stretch as you do this a couple more times. This is good for the thoracic outlet syndrome and the tingling in the fingers. Okay, turn your palm down to the floor and then extend up the wrist. You might feel a little stretch in the front of your elbow. Okay, turn the palm to the ceiling. Then recovering, opening the right knee, we come back to our neutral position. Starting on the other side, hook under your left leg, slide your right leg on the floor. We're lifting up the left and pressing out the right, flex and point. Good. Then our hamstring stretch on the left leg, extending straight up. Remember, you can bend your knee if that's an uncomfortable position to stretch. And flex and point on the extended leg now, 5 times. There's 4 and 5. Circling your ankle around, big circles. 1, 2, 3, there's 4 and 5. Then pull your knee up high to your shoulder. Press into your hands, extending that leg as straight. And flex and pull back. Good. Exhale into your stretch. And again, 2 more times. Flex, pull that knee up to your shoulder. Keeping your extended leg on the floor. Oh, good. Right foot is on the mat. Tuck your left knee high and we twist to the right. Okay, then carefully opening your left arm and shoulder out to the side. Just try to relax and breathe into the stretch. Then this hand activity, open and close your hand. Want that shoulder to be on a stretch. And then turn your palm down towards the floor and extend up the wrist. And we'll turn our palm up to the ceiling again. And then carefully opening up your left knee. Okay, we're back to our neutral. Re-engage your abdominal muscles and be prepared to lift your feet up off of the mat, 1 foot at a time. This is called toe touch. You're lowering your foot to the floor, bring it back up to chair position and lower and lift. Now, you don't have to touch the floor, only go down as far as it's compatible for you to hold your abdominal muscles in. So there isn't any shifting in the pelvis as you move your leg. Always trying to brace, moving from the hip socket. Reach your arms straight up to the ceiling. Then you'll extend your left leg, just hovering off the floor, and reach your left arm overhead. Come back to chair position, press those shoulder blades back, and the right side extend. Return to chair. Left side extend and chair. Try to extend your leg fully, tightening your thigh. If that's uncomfortable on the low back, keep the leg a little higher and work on the stabilization of pelvis and spine. As you feel any stronger, you come out a little bit lower. We'll do 1 more to each side. Bracing those abs. Exhale. Lift your head and shoulders and reach those legs out straight, lowering down. If this is uncomfortable on your low back, keep your knees bent or extend them towards the ceiling so they're not as low to the floor. If there's any trouble with your neck, you can support your head. There's 4 and 5. Get those legs fully extended. 6. Be careful not to round your shoulders. 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Tuck your knees in. Let's keep our head on the floor. This is a modified hundreds. Arms are by your sides, nice and tight. You'd be pumping your arms straight without bouncing. And exhale each time. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Staccato breathing. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Keep going with the breathing. You can bring your head and shoulders off the floor. Lay your head down anytime you need to. You want a little more work, you can extend the legs up. Try to modify it so you can get through all 10 sets. We're on 9 and 10. Tuck your knees in, let your neck recover on the floor, and turn your head. Then a little stretch in the neck. We'll place our feet down to the mat. This is called a bridge. Instead of just lifting your hips off of the floor, you're going to initiate with a pelvic tilt, pressing your back into the mat, feeling each vertebrae press into the floor as you lift your hips. As you're lowering down, be careful that you're pulling your body towards your heels. And the same goes true as we roll up, because you don't want to be pushing your weight to your neck. We are pulling towards our hips. Up and lower down. There's 2. Bone by bone, nice and careful. Only go up as high as you can tolerate. And press. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate incorrectly reaching up with the ribs. Keep pulling those ribs down. Lowering slow. So we want a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Press the hips up. Tuck your shoulder blades under. No weight on your neck. And lower slow. This time we're going to stay lifted in a bridge. And lift your heels. Open the knees apart. And together. And 2. Squeeze your buns. 3. And together. 4. 5. 6. You can put your hands underneath your hips if you need assistance. 8. 9. 10. Careful, there's no weight on your neck. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Keep your knees open. Press your hips to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Bring your knees together. 20 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Roll down your spine all the way to the mat. Good work. Pre-engage those abdominal muscles to bring your knees up to chair position. Tip over to one side, keeping your shoulders on the floor. Use those abdominal muscles to come back to the center. Careful rotation. So the weight of the legs is challenging the tension in your abdominal area. And center. Here's 2. Keep that shoulder on the floor. Draw back with the abs. And 2. And center. And 3. And center. 4. And center. Good. We'll finish up with 5. Last one on the right. Placing your right foot to the floor, just your toes, left leg up to the ceiling. You can wedge your hands next to your hips. As this left leg is making a circle, try not to let your hips rock from side to side. So we hold the abdominal strength. Exhale as you sweep around the circle. Inhale at the top. Exhale, sweep around the circle. Inhale at the top. And one more. Hold at the top. Change directions. Inhale. Exhale, sweep. Inhale at the top. And sweep. Inhale at the top. And sweep. Inhale at the top. And around. And one more time. And draw in those abdominal muscles really strong. We lower down with the heel. Tuck your knee in. And don't let your back press to the floor as you extend your leg up. It takes core strength. Heel down like you're pulling back with your abs. Tuck the knee in and up. And 4. Bracing the abs the whole time. There's 5. Tuck your knee in, change directions of the pattern. So we extend the leg, bringing it up to the ceiling, press your tailbone to the floor, and tuck in. Brace with your abs. 2. And up, and tuck, and brace. 3. And up, and tuck, and 4. Up, and tuck. One more. 5. And toes to the floor. Now the other side, starting with the circles. So we're bracing the core, gently letting the leg float in a circle. You can wedge your hands at your hips. Make sure that you're not rocking side to side. Five circles. Come to the top of your circle. Take a breath. And exhale as we go the other way. 1. And 2. 3. 4. And 5. Lowering your leg down to the floor. Flex that foot. So you feel like you're reaching out with your heel. Tuck your knee in and extend and flex, lowering down slow. Pull back with your abs. Notice if your back wants to arch. Bend your knee if there's any discomfort in the low back. Okay, we're building strength in the abdominal muscles. 4. It's 5. Then we change directions of the pattern for 5 more. So extend your leg out, flex the foot, and up to your stretch. And repeating again, brace the abdominal muscles, pull up with your abdominal muscles like you're reeling in your fishing line. There's 3. And just hovering off the floor, 4. And 5. Tuck this knee in, bring up your other foot, add your half roll up and extend your right leg, holding your left knee in. Then we alternate. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. Remember to bring your legs up a little higher if this is difficult or uncomfortable on your back. Also pressing the shoulders down. You can always support your neck at any time. Let's go 9 and 9 and 10 and 10. Tuck your knees in, let your neck recover. Bring those knees to chair position. Now it's lower abdominal muscles. You're trying to tuck your knees in, pulling your hips off of the floor, and lower. And again, if there's any low back discomfort, you might want to try this with your feet on the mat and just pull back strongly with the abdominal muscles until we get a little more support in the low back. Sometimes this can be challenging for the low back. Good. 2 more. Last one. Brace the core as you set one foot down and then the other. We'll roll to our side for the next series. You can tuck in your bottom knee or you can extend that leg just slightly forward. We want to make sure that you're lifting up out of your shoulder. So the working leg is going to come forward with a flexed foot and then point towards the back. Okay, now things to be careful of here is that you don't want to give in to counterbalancing the leg, but hold your core straight, shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. Keep pulling in strongly with those abdominal muscles. Good. One more time. Bring your legs straight down your side seam. Make little circles straight down the side seam. Be careful that you're moving your leg behind you so the circle isn't forward. And then changing direction of the circle. 5, 4, keep lengthening your torso. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's lay all the way down on your side. Side crunches. This is for the side of your waist. So pull in with your abdominal muscles. Tighten your legs up so your feet come off the floor. Then the ribs and the hips try to move closer together. 2, reach towards your toes. 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look down at your legs. Are you in a straight line? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good. Bend your knees and then transition to the other side. So we're going to spin around. We start on our forearm. Bottom leg is slightly forward or tucked under. Remember, you're not sinking into your shoulder. We got to keep lifting up. Top leg, heel forward, back with a point. and back. And heel in front. Now point towards the back, lengthening the front of the foot, front of the hip. Heel in front, point to the back. And one more time. We're going to keep our leg extended straight down from the side seam. 5 circles. 2, 3, 4, 5. Change directions. Keep pulling up out of the shoulder. Might start sinking a little bit. 3, 4, and 5. Lower all the way down to the side for side crunches. Ready? You're going to reach towards your toes, tighten up your legs, and lift. 1. Pulling your hip to rib. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, pull hard, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Bend your knees. Transition to laying on your stomach. You can bring your hands under your forehead, and we'll be lifting up one leg at a time. I'm going to turn my head so you can hear me better, but you can have your forehead resting on the back of your hands with your head straight. Press your hips into the mat. Lift up your left leg only. Lift 1 and lower. And again, 2 and lower. As you're continuing, keep pressing the hips into the floor. Squeeze your buns. And 5 and 6, 7. Back of the leg is working, and your glutes and your low back. 9 and 10. We'll switch sides. Keep both hips pressing into the floor evenly. 2, 3. So if you're lifting your right leg, that left hip has to press into the floor. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stretch that hip socket long. And 10. Both legs are reaching long. We're going to bring our arms to our sides. Lift your head and shoulders, palms to the floor, and open your chest. And hold. Good. Hold. Press your hips into the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now lifting the back of your hands up towards the ceiling. Up 1, 2, 3. Keep that neck long. No pinching in that area. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You might have to work up to 20. Don't push it. 12, 13. Shoulder blades pull together. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Let's rest for a moment. You can lay down to the mat. Wiggle your hips to release your back. And again, lifting up the head and shoulders up off the floor. Reach your arms out to the sides and pull your shoulder blades together. Press your hips down to the floor. Keep pulling those shoulder blades together. Just hold for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Is your neck nice and long? Press your hips into the mat and then release. Bring your hands next to your sides. Push off of the floor. We'll crawl in. Raise your spine to the ceiling and drop your head. Just a nice little stretch on the low back. And then the opposite direction, bringing the chest forward, navel towards the floor, and your chin up. Come back to neutral, lengthening your neck. Reach your left leg out. Make sure that you're not lifting your hip up. And crawl your hand forward on your right hand. If you feel comfortable, take that off of the floor and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. Right leg, left arm. Hold. Square off the shoulders. Square off your hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. And hold. Is the leg midline? Is your neck nice and long? Shoulders are down. Navel to spine. Hold, hold, breathe. Feel those abs pull in. And switch sides. You shouldn't have a whole lot of adjustment in your hips as you transition to the other side. Keep pressing your shoulder blades down your back. And again, we're holding. And switch. Left leg, right arm. Hold. Square everything off. Keep coaching yourself. And switch. Reach. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And switch. And reach. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Take the weight off of your hand by pulling up through your core, balancing and holding your position. And switch. Be careful that your shoulder doesn't come up to your neck. And hold. And lower down. Okay, this is a hamstring exercise, lowering yourself to the floor. You may need to open out your elbows to the side to take any pressure off of your low back. Squeeze in your gluteals and then pull that heel in. Double heel extend. A double pump extend. And 3, 4. Squeeze those buns. 5. Pressing your hips to the floor. Be careful that your head isn't hanging down. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Keep pulling your abdominal muscles up into your back, protecting that low back. Trying to keep your kneecap off of the floor the whole time. And we'll finish up on that left leg. Change sides. Kick in with your heel. Using your back muscles to support here and using your abdominal muscles to support your low back. 3 and 4. Don't let that head hang down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Good for the hamstrings and the glutes. 18, 19, and 20. Good. Bring your hands at your sides again to help you push off the floor. We're going to sit on our feet, called child's pose. Just to stretch your low back, let your head dangle. And take a breath. Okay, apply those abdominal muscles up into your back so you can support yourself coming upright. Then come to a comfortable seated position. You can do this on the wall too by putting your hands on the wall. We're trying to arch the upper back, lifting and supporting your neck, lifting your chest. Try to lift up, up, up. Our goal is between the shoulder blades. Should feel those muscles activating. And then we'll release. So you can support your neck or you can bring your hands up, lifting your chest, pulling those shoulder blades down. Remember, anytime you can put a hand behind your head if you need to. Good, and then release. We'll do one more time. Lift up. So you're supporting your neck. We're trying to feel the muscles between the shoulder blades that help maintain a nice upper back and support your neck and your head. Okay, we're going to finish up with some stretching for the hamstrings. It's very good for the low back. So if you have a band of any color, something to support your leg, start off with your knee bent. We'll extend the leg straight. Use the band or your belt to hold the leg in position and just relax. Take a big breath. You can slide that right leg on the floor if that feels good for you. Relaxing your neck. Take a breath, pull back on that band a little more. Good, breathe. Let your neck stretch longer. Then back off of the stretch a little bit and carry this leg over your midline. You can also bend your right knee. Hips and shoulders stay on the floor. This is stretching the side of your leg, down the back of the leg. Good for sciatic issues. Nice deep breath. Then use the band to carry the weight of your leg out to the side. Counterbalance with your right knee, like a big check mark. And we have this inner thigh position for the leg and loosening up in the hip socket. It takes the stretch receptors about 20 seconds to release. You might feel that release of tension. And then the gluteal stretch, bringing your working foot over the resting knee. If you can just leave your band draped over your left foot, it's easier to put it back on the other foot. Stretching in our hips. Okay, let's go ahead and start the other side. Just open your band, transfer the right foot there. We'll extend on the floor out straight, gently coming up to your resistance. Then if you feel that it's comfortable for you to extend the left leg straight, you can have that option. You want to pull back into your stretch as much as you can, trying to keep that knee straight. Good, nice big breath. We're going to back off the tension slightly, cross over the midline. You can have your left leg straight or bent. Then we open the working leg to a straddle position, counterbalance with your non-working leg. Be careful that you don't list over or roll over to the side. Just holding this stretch as you breathe. Then our gluteal stretch. So you're bringing your working foot over the resting knee. You can set your band aside. Oh, good stretch in the hips. Okay, we'll release our stretch, placing your feet to the mat. We haven't done full roll-ups in this class, so you can either roll to your side and sit up, or if you want to try a full roll-up, you might get part way and need a little help with your legs, keeping that spine nice and straight. Good job. This is easy.